Dream's reputation as a content creator over time has kind of just been diminished aggressively by a bunch of different factors. One of the main ones being him cheating on a speedrun, and the other one being the big one, which was him being accused of grooming a minor. And I really didn't care much for this situation. I don't watch Dream. I'm not exactly a Dream content connoisseur, but he recently released a response, or at least a pre-response to the entire situation almost a year later, and I went and watched it. And for those of you who know Dream's type of apologies, he is one to apologize in a very long-form fashion. With the whole thing about the cheating on the speedrun allegation, he wrote essentially a multi-chapter book talking about why he didn't cheat. And this situation is no different. Not only did he release a multi-thread long response, but also a 42-minute long recording from stream of him essentially just addressing everything that happened. And I, being the content connoisseur that I am, watched all 42 minutes of it and took notes. I noted down multiple pages worth of things that he talked about in the video, and I wanted to break it down with you guys and also kind of open this up for discussion with you guys because I'm curious what you guys think as well. I just said you guys 3 times in like 2 sentences. I'm very fluent in my language of choice. So the actual 42-minute video that I sat through for some reason was actually a screen recording of a stream that he had done on his alt channel where he does essentially just Minecraft parkour. He's doing Minecraft parkour like it's some sort of Reddit TikTok account and tells us about everything going on in this situation. And for those of you unaware, essentially what happened was he was caught contacting a minor, or who was a minor when he was contacting her initially, on Snapchat. And initially, the internet just completely went berserk. There were claims of him sending pictures, explicit pictures of himself to the girl, and everyone kind of took that and ran with it, and Dream never came out with a response. This is a year after everything came out, as I said, so everyone was kind of just like, okay, he was caught, he's hiding in a corner now, this is it. And that's the first thing he addresses in this video. In fact, the first note that I have down is that the lawyers and his managers and everyone else in the management side of his channel all pushed him to not make a single response about any of this. He even actually went to his friends and told his friends not to come out and disprove what the girl said and not defend him at all because he wants to handle it himself. And right off the bat, I think that was the worst possible way he could have gone about any of it. Yeah, that is good. You probably don't want to say anything incorrectly and then push the court case further into a ditch, but at the same time, the court of public opinion has already made their decision. Every single person on the internet thinks Dream is a groomer, and I personally don't hold an opinion. I'm not in the Dream streaming space, so I don't really care, but I do find it very interesting that this course of action has made the entire situation just so much worse for him. And goddammit, this topic is so hard to tackle because at its bare bones, it's about grooming. It's about the topic of grooming, which is so scary and so intense and a real issue that faces a lot of people. So I can't really go at this with the idea of like, oh, I think this because of everything we've been given so far, or, oh, I think she's right or wrong. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't have all the evidence. All I'm doing is breaking down the things that Dream talked about in a video, in a documentary-length video, and essentially working with what we have there. I'm not here to discuss if she was right or if she was wrong, and no one really should. I don't think anyone on the internet should be out here talking about that if they have none of the information, because it isn't our place to. We're literally just watching drama that happens between 2 people, but it just happens to be 2 people who are popular, and so it is a lot bigger than it needs to be. But of course, Dream doesn't really spare any time getting right into the evidence that he wants to discuss. He doesn't show any actual screenshots or receipts, but claims that apparently he plans to release a video on his second channel in the coming days with everything that he wants to show to clear his name, apparently. And this is all the evidence that he was unable to show previously because his lawyers had advised him not to, stupidly enough for some reason. But it all starts with Instagram, where he claims that she had been DMing him on Instagram for a while as a fan, trying to just contact him. And initially he was ignoring her because he's a content creator, so he gets a lot of different DMs. But what initially got him to finally respond to her was him wanting to get input on music that he's making. Because for those of you unaware, one of my most popular videos talks about him going on tour. He makes music now. He has a concert. So he wanted to try and contact different people to ask for their input on the music, and he didn't want to share it over Instagram, he said. So he said that he wanted to add her on Snapchat so he could share it without it being leaked. And that is exactly what happens. He added her on a semi-public Snapchat he has where he adds all his friends and family, and was sharing the music that he wants to make, that is the scene of the crime. The Snapchat is where everything that she has claimed happened. And that's where things get a little weird and a little uncomfortable, because Dream immediately talks about the fact that on Snapchat, you can, if you spend like 10 minutes looking into it, download the transcript of every single thing that's been said between you and another person. I assume for security reasons. I didn't know about that, and I thought Snapchat messages vanished, so that's probably scary for people who say bad stuff on Snap. I don't really use Snapchat personally, but if you're out there and you hide things on Snapchat, you're not hiding. Unfortunately, you've been caught. It just takes 10 minutes. But what I find weird is, and something he mentions in the video, is she never really brings up the transcripts. Of course, she might not know about them. She might have no clue that that's a possible thing. So you can't really use that as damning evidence to be like, gotcha. She's lying. Because, I mean, not everyone knows everything. This is something that he probably looked into as a way to clear his own name. But it is kind of strange that he plans to bring out all of the transcripts for his video trying to clear his name, although there's also the whole thing in the air of him not showing all of it, because withholding information is something content creators have done many times in the past with the intent of clearing their name. But the other thing he pointed out that felt a little weird is that apparently if you go through their Instagram DMs, a lot of her messages are gone. Like, they've been deleted. And I don't know why she would delete messages, because that is essentially tampering with evidence in this situation, because the evidence is all digital. So that doesn't help her case very much either. But that's from that information, all the DM stuff that I have heard. But something I was really obsessed with while watching this entire 42-minute video was, like, if there is in any reality that this is a fake allegation, what would be her motive for coming out with this fake allegation? What would have fueled the hatred that goes into trying to bring someone's career down if it was not real? And I don't really have a lot of answers to that, because the only thing I could put together was that she had DM'd him a lot before he eventually responded, so maybe she was angry that her content creator was ignoring her. There's also the whole idea that she apparently had a boyfriend when she was talking to Dream, and they had broke up, so maybe it was some sort of thing about him seeing her DM Dream, getting jealous, and then wanting to bring Dream down. Those are all assumptions from me, and not at all something I think is true. I think these are all strange, and in fact, actually, those 2 points that are the only thing that come close to a motive, and in my opinion, are shit. They're not a reason. They're not any reason. So it is kind of strange to think about why it would have been something if it wasn't real. And something else that Dream brings up in the special itself, this is not Netflix, god damn it. Something else that he brings up in the actual 42-minute video himself is the fact that she never really goes through with any legal action. The only thing she does is threaten him by sending an image of a police station, which I remember when that released. That went viral on Twitter for a short time. And I feel like that excuse in itself is kind of shit. I feel like that isn't exactly the best way of going about it, because of the fact that, like, there is a fear factor that comes in with suing a content creator, as well as a money factor that comes in, because suing someone is expensive. It's not easy to sue someone for this type of situation, or bring someone to court. It isn't as easy as just being like, I think this person's bad, get me a lawyer, and hopping in the room. There are thousands of dollars that need to be exchanged, and of course, coming forward with these types of allegations is scary sometimes for the victim. It could be terrifying. That's one of the reasons I think that's a bit of a strange take from Dream. Now, at the same time, I've been doing a lot of negative talking real quick. I've been talking very negatively about Dream. In reality, I don't want these grooming allegations to be real. I don't want to have to be in a universe where there is a real situation where another Minecraft YouTuber took advantage of a minor, which is actually something he covers, because apparently she's not a minor. Apparently she was 17 when they first text, but then she was 18 when everything actually went down. So that's also a bit of a gray area and weird. But at the end of the day, there's still the power factor that goes between a content creator and their viewer. So that still is a strange dynamic. But I don't want it to be real. I don't want this to be a real thing that Dream could have done. And in fact, I would love it if he came forward with some evidence that cleared his name. But at the same time, the evidence that he's kind of supplied in this video wasn't exactly perfect. But then again, this isn't his video. This was a recording of a stream from an alternate Twitch account. So this isn't really his announcement, which is also something he brings up. My God, my notes just keep coming in clutch. He brings up the fact that he doesn't want to talk about it very much, and the reason he hasn't addressed it at all online is because his quotes were, the more he talks about it, the slower it dies. Dream, that sounds like you're trying to cover something up. Like, that's a terrible way to word it. I get that that wasn't your intention because you were live and you did not script any of that, but that was not a good way to go about saying that. But I do appreciate the last thing that he said in the video, that he talks about how another reason it's taken him so long to come out about it is because he's trying to defend himself while also being respectful towards the whole idea of victims. He doesn't want to just disregard someone for being a victim, but he also wants to clear his own name. And that's honestly where this entire video kind of comes to a wrap. Honestly, if you want to watch the video, it wraps up around the 38-minute mark. Once you get past that, he starts repeating himself or saying, I'm going to end it now, and then saying something else, like about 8 times before finally ending it. But that's essentially the bow on top of the gift box, the really shitty gift box, but the gift box, nonetheless. Dream also released this tweet, and I wish I saw some chapter markers or maybe some MLA citation, because goddamn, he wrote an entire tome, but that is essentially covering everything that was covered in the 40-minute stream clip, so I'm not going to go over that as well because it would just be redundant. But that's about where this entire situation lies. He plans to release a video on his alt channel, essentially showing all of his solid evidence and clearing his name, so who knows where that goes. I'm just happy I was able to cover this in a video and tell you guys about it without discrediting the victim or just baselessly accusing him without any solid set in stone evidence, but being able to talk about it regardless. So I'm interested to hear your guys' takes on this. Comment below and let me know what you think. And of course, subscribe if you are new. I'd love to see you around for future videos. I make videos every single day about random things going on the internet. But yeah, and like the video if you want to. I'd appreciate it a lot. But anyways, I'm going to give you guys the song of the day, which is my favorite Post Malone song, 92 Explorer. You can give that a listen. I'm going to add it to the Songs of the Day playlist I have linked in the description, and I'll be hitting the road. I appreciate you guys sitting down with me and listening about all these really interesting stuff going on with the Dream situation. If you want me to make a video on his actual video that comes out in a few days, let me know. If you don't want me to cover any more of it because you think this was distasteful, also let me know. I just wanted to cover it and see how you guys think of it, because it is a genuinely interesting situation. But thank you guys for being here, and as always, adios, arrivederci, goodbye, good night, and let's see where this goes.